Ladies and gentlemen, let's be honest. Most of you are here because you've been glued to numerous Battlefield 6 updates. And yeah, DICE finally delivered something that feels like a classic Battlefield again. But here's what we forgot. There are two more highly anticipated shooters coming this year. When ARC Raiders dropped their beta and streamers started playing it, it reached an impressive amount of hype. Meanwhile, Call of Duty Black Ops 7? Well, let's just say that the hype isn't exactly what it used to be. But who is going to take the crown as the leading FPS game of this year? Yeah, I know, ARC Raiders is technically third person, but for this showdown, I feel like it earned its spot in the ring, you know? So I've been diving deep into gameplay, community reactions, and developer interviews to break down which game truly deserves your time. So buckle up and let's get into it. Here's what's at stake. Battlefield 6 is riding a wave of nostalgia and redemption. Call of Duty is desperately trying to reinvent itself, and ARC Raiders, this wildcard did not just pop out of nowhere a couple months ago. It's actually led by Patrick Sønderlund, the former CEO of DICE and former executive vice president of EA. Yep, the guy who helped create Battlefield is now competing against it. That's going to matter a lot. More on that in a minute. Scrolling through and replying to all your comments on one of my last Battlefield videos, it's very clear that you're hyped for this game. But after digging into what's really happening with all these three games, I have found some surprises that might just flip your expectations for the year's biggest FPS. Or let's just say shooters, since ARC Raiders technically isn't an FPS. So in the next 10 minutes, I'm breaking down what each game actually brings to the table. We're talking real gameplay changes, raw community reactions, and the cold truth about which one is actually worth your time this year, and not just the marketing spin. Because let's face it, you cannot grind all three at the same time, so which one deserves your attention? Let's find out. Here's how I will be judging the games. Innovation. Are they actually moving the genre forward? Execution. Do they deliver on the hype? And community impact. Because multiplayer games lives and dies by its players. First up is the comeback king, Battlefield 6, and how DICE might finally have cracked the code. Battlefield 6 is the talk of the FPS world right now, and for good reason. After the mess that was 2042, DICE had one shot to get it right, and judging by the beta, they might actually have done it. Peak beta queues hit 250,000 players or more, and on Steam alone, there was over 500,000 people playing at the same time. That's only on Steam. Then you have the Epic Games players, you have the EA players, and the Xbox and PlayStation players. There was a lot of people playing at the same time. And the comment sections of all videos, including my own, is filled with Battlefield is finally back, we are so back. This is nostalgia and hope colliding, and you can feel it every time you spawn in. Destruction is back in a way that actually matters. Full buildings come down, chaos tells the story, and every match feels unique. Weapon handling? Satisfying, punchy, and finally rewarding. Arguably a bit too fast of a TTK, but DICE has already said that they implemented a patch to make the weapons a bit less laser gun-ish. The classic 4-class system returns, making squad play meaningful. Medics matter again, engineers are back to counter vehicles, and teamwork isn't just encouraged, it's essential. But it's not all perfect. Stone Mountain and myself pointed out that helicopter physics feel a little bit floaty and at sometimes a little bit too slow, but still fun, and Level Cap Gaming flagged that some maps are tighter than expected, especially on Liberation Peak. If you get pushed down to your spawn in Conquest, it's very hard to take the situation back, so that needs a little bit of tweaking. There's a debate about the pacing. Some say it's a little too much like Call of Duty, while others love the faster flow. And the server browser, it will come, but only in portal mode. With full XP earning, it's not ideal, but at least it exists. But this has the Battlefield community on edge. These clips are from just the first weekend of beta. Players with full wall hacks, seeing through every single surface. For a game launching with secure boot anti-cheat, this is a major red flag. DICE developer Alexia confirmed that the player was banned almost instantly. But here's the question. If hackers can break through the new anti-cheat this early, what does this mean for launch day? Honestly, if you've followed FPS launches before, you know this could be a sign of bigger problems. I'll be tracking this story all the way to the release, so if you want real updates, stick around. Here's the bottom line. This is the first Battlefield in years that actually feels like Battlefield. The beta shattered player count records, big streamers are genuinely excited, and for once, the community isn't just complaining. Is it perfect? No. But with the October 10th launch coming up, DICE has time to polish things up. So Battlefield is back on the map, but what about the FPS giant that has been dominating for over a decade? Call of Duty. Specifically, Call of Duty Black Ops 7. It's supposed to be their answer to everything. Are they actually solving the right problems, or just coasting on legacy? What I found about Black Ops 7 might surprise you, but not in a good way. Call of Duty Black Ops 7 is soon here, and Activision wants you to believe it's the most ambitious reboot since Modern Warfare. The marketing is everywhere. Innovative design, next-gen graphics, a return to gritty boots on the ground action. But if you've been around the block with COD, you know the hype doesn't always match the reality. And speaking of boots on the ground realism, let's talk about the store. Activision wants us to buy into Call of Duty as a serious military shooter, but then they drop Beavis and Butthead bundles and anime waifus and whatever this monstrosity is right into the shop. How am I supposed to feel immersed in a Cold War espionage when the guy who just quickscoped me is running around like a rejected cartoon mascot? I'm not asking for a mil sim, but seriously, what is this? The trailers hype up gritty, mature warfare, but the second you load into multiplayer, it's basically just Fortnite with M16s. The disconnect is insane. I just miss how your operator actually looked like a soldier and not a walking meme. But here's the thing, clearly a massive chunk of the community loves this stuff because Activision is making millions every single season off these skins. So maybe this is just what the COD fanbase wants now. But let me know, do you actually rock these wild skins or do you wish things were a little bit more authentic? Here's the brutal truth about Black Ops 7. There's no new engine, no groundbreaking changes, just more of the same. At this point, the Black Ops storyline feels stretched thin. Honestly, these releases are starting to feel like overpriced DLC packs. Now, I know a huge part of the COD community lives for zombies, and I'm right there with you. My childhood of gaming existed only of Battlefield 3 and Black Ops 1 and 2 zombies. That combo shaped my entire gaming perspective. But let's be real, zombies mode in the recent games, it's honestly been a disgrace compared to what it once was. The magic, the complexity, the vibe, it's just not there. At this point, it's just a camo grind simulator. And there is no way a rushed 1-year development cycle can bring that back. And by the way, what's your all-time favorite zombies map? Drop it in the comments, let's see if anyone misses the old day as much as I do. And my favorite is definitely Origins from Black Ops 2, baby. Getting those stuffs is the best thing in the world. The community is honestly very split. Some love the familiar feel, Call of Duty is comfort food. Others are burned out. The annual release cycle, the expensive battle pass, the sense that innovation is on life support. Big creators like Drifter and the exclusive Ace are cautiously optimistic, but even they are pointing out the lack of real risk-taking. And then there's the giant elephant in the room, the cheaters. Despite Ricochet, anti-cheat, wall hacks and aimbot and everything else is always going to be existent in Call of Duty, and it always has. If anyone has played like 10 games of Warzone, you will know this, and no matter what they do, it seems to just get worse. Now, they did actually say that they will upgrade their anti-cheat to also be a secure boot anti-cheat or a kernel level anti-cheat, just like Battlefield 6 has done and just like Valorant has done. So maybe it will help, I don't know, but nevertheless, it's very, very rare that you will play Call of Duty and not encounter hackers. And as we talked about earlier, if there's anything that can kill a game, it's a massive cheating problem. So is Black Ops 7 a must-buy or just another reskin? It's probably gonna be polished and it's probably gonna be the go-to for a quick, fun, chaotic multiplayer. But if you're looking for something new, a true shake-up, you might be left wanting more. The real question is, does COD need to change, or is being the king of just existing and doing the same thing year over year enough? Alright, let's get into the real wildcard, ARC Raiders. While everyone has locked in the usual Battlefield versus Call of Duty debate, for the past couple of weeks, Embark Studios has been working hard behind the scenes on something that could seriously shake up the shooter scene. First up, save the date, ARC Raiders launches October 30th, 2025, just a couple of weeks after the release of Battlefield 6. And this is not just another run-of-the-mill shooter. We are talking third-person PvPvE, tactical combat, extraction, shooter vibes. Think Tarkov meets The Division, but with a sci-fi edge that actually feels fresh. But now here's the kicker. Embark Studio is led and founded by Patrick Sønderlund. If that name rings a bell, it should. He is the former CEO of DICE and former executive vice president of EA, aka the guy who helped make Battlefield a household name. So when the Embark Studios creative director says, "We want every round to tell a story," you know they mean business. The community's first impressions to this game a couple months back, honestly pretty shocked. For a brand new IP, people are saying it's surprisingly polished and it runs really well, while not sacrificing on the graphics. Could this be the next big thing? But let's not sugarcoat it. Third person isn't for everyone, and the learning curve looks a bit brutal. But this isn't your casual drop-in shooter. You'll need real tactics, actual teamwork, and a willingness to put in the time to get good. But don't worry, I will definitely be uploading a ton of videos to make sure you know everything about the game that you need to when it drops, so make sure to stay tuned for that. Now here's why ARC Raiders could be the sleeper hit of 2025. While Battlefield and Call of Duty are busy remixing the same old formulas, Embark is actually taking a risk here and doing something different. They're not chasing trends, they're setting them. And with Patrick Sønderlund's shooter pedigree, you have to pay attention because this guy made some of the best games the early gaming community has ever played. And he knows what he's doing. Alright, so with everything we've gone through in this video, here is the conclusion. In third place, Call of Duty. It's still gonna be the sales king, but let's be honest, Black Ops is starting to feel like reheated leftovers. Innovation, MIA. The community is getting restless and it shows. For the second place, I will pick ARC Raiders. It does have real potential, and Patrick Sønderlund with the Embark studio that gave us peak Battlefield is back with a new vision. I think this one could surprise a lot of people. And for the first place, I will put Battlefield 6 here. DICE finally listened, classic gameplay, the stuff we begged for years. If they stick the landing, this could be the comeback story of the decade. But here's what actually matters: the execution. None of these games are out yet. They're all pre-launch. We've been burned before. Remember the disaster that was Battlefield 2042's launch, or the empty promises about innovation from Call of Duty? It all comes down to launch day. Now, these are just my opinions on this topic, but I also want to know what you think. So drop your pick in the comments. Are you team Battlefield comeback? Are you team Call of Duty loyalty? Are you betting on ARC Raiders and want something new? If Battlefield 6 nails the launch, it's taking the crown 100%. But if they fumble, don't be shocked if ARC Raiders steal the show. If this breakdown helped you pick your side, smash the like button and subscribe for more deep dives into shooters that actually matter, because when these games drop, you will want to know if they actually live up to the hype. The shooter wars of 2025 are about to kick off. So, whose side are you on?